Hey everyone. So this is makeup week here, and I know some of you are probably a little confused about the episode numbers. So this is episode 12, I believe, and which is we're making up for what was done, what I missed last week. So today, I made episode 16, which is coming out because today is the 16th day. But now you're also getting episode 12, which is the makeup from last week. So you're getting 2 episodes every day until about Thursday, and then we'll be back on track. So that's how the numbers work. So this is 12 from last week, and 16 also comes out today. So hopefully that helps. I know, kind of a crazy numbering system, but wanted to keep on schedule with the 25. So I want to talk about now part 2 of developing awareness, and this is going to come up a lot in our videos this week. I'll probably do another part on it, but I want to talk about why it's important to develop awareness of why you do what you do. And I just talked about some of this in the other video that came out today, number 16, about hitting our target. But in here I want to talk about why we need to develop awareness of ourselves, what drives ourselves, because of a principle called the roots and the fruits. The roots and the fruits. So we often look at a tree, or when we look at a tree, we know what that tree is by what we can see on top. So if it's a evergreen tree, we know that it's evergreen. If it's an apple tree, you know that because of the apples. If it's a peach tree, you know that because of the peaches. But the fruit that you see on the top is only the product of what that tree produces, and it takes the whole branches and trunk and specifically the root system to get out those fruits. So I can pluck all the peaches off a peach tree and put them in a basket and take them home and make peach cobbler, and be like, okay, that's no longer a peach tree. But the reality is next year, same time, peaches are going to come back. Why? Because it's a peach tree. I can tape apples onto that peach tree, and I can be like, okay, I now christen you to be an apple tree. And those apples will eventually rot or get eaten by the birds, and that tree, given enough time, will still put out peaches, and it will be a peach tree. Why? Because in its heart and in its core and in its roots, it is a peach tree. So this is how it works in our life. We often look at somebody and we see fruits, and we're like, oh man, I really like the fruits in that person's life. Or, oh, I do not like the fruits in that person's life. That person's a real pain. You know, that person's really annoying. That person's really sensitive. Whatever it is. You know, I don't like the habits that this person has. This person, you know, smacks their lips when they chew. Whatever it is. And so, when you look at the fruits of a person's life, who they are when you meet them on the surface, that's a small part of who they are. That's just an expression of what's deep down inside. And so the same is true in our life. Whatever habits we have in our life, somehow that reaches back to the core of who we are and what we believe about ourselves. And so if we want to change the fruits in our life, if we want to see fruits of discipline, self-discipline, intentionality, we want to see fruits of self-control, we want to see fruits of kindness, you know, of a feeling of wholeness, contentment, all of these kinds of things. If we want to see ourselves living a life of joy, victory, success, accomplishment, a life of value, you have to dig down to the roots and say, what are the roots of my life that are giving fruits to things that I don't want? And you can't just replace the fruit in your life only. You can't just be like, oh, well, you know what? I don't like the fact, I don't like the fact that I got bitterness in my life, for example. That's a tough example because a lot of times we like it. We tend to hold on to it. But let's say we come to a point where, we have awakened enough to recognize, you know what? I don't want this in my life anymore. You can't just will yourself into like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna feel bitter. You're gonna have to dig down to the root and say, why is that bitterness there? Do I need to forgive somebody? Do I need to accept some situations I can't change? you got to dig. You got to dig. You got to dig a little bit. You got to get down to the root, and you got to get the root out. Now, when it comes to pulling out roots out of our life, that takes some hard work, and it's a growth process. It's a growth process, and it takes spiritual commitment as well to get those roots out. And so I'm gonna tie this video up right here, but I want you to capture this illustration that when you're trying to deal with the negative fruits in your life and the fruits that you want to change, you got to get down to the root. And that's why we need to start becoming aware of why we're doing what we're doing. Am I trying to cover something up in my life? Am I trying to escape from something in my life? Am I just ignoring something in my life that I shouldn't be ignoring? Are there lies that I'm believing about myself? Am I just taking things for granted, taking things easy, not wanting to face the hard facts? Whatever it is, you got to dig down, deal with that, and that's what's going to cause the real transformation and the real growth. So that's where I want you to become aware of, is to start thinking about as you look at your goals, and I don't care how easy the goal is. Let me go back to the one you want to read a stack of books this year. That may seem like a really easy goal, but I can tell you, I can tell you right now, something down at the root. There's a root as to why you haven't read that stack of books already. And it might be a time management issue, and that time management issue might be tied to a self-worth issue, potentially, that's causing you to relate to your day and your life and your time management in a certain way. And if you work on that, if you get all the way down to the root of the self-worth issue, and you work that out and you work it backwards, you're going to find you're going to have plenty of time to read those books, and you might actually find motivation to read those books. It's just an example, but I'm telling you, whatever and however simple the goal is, if you think it through, you're going to find that there's a deeper root somewhere, and if you work on that, you're going to find success. So yeah, it's hard work, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a journey. So jump on that journey, and just start being aware of why you do what you do. See you next time.